Have people left?
Sandra, almost all of the people have left. This is Friday afternoon in the noon hour, Ocean Drive, world famous. I'm standing in the middle of the street. This is the least crowded I have really ever seen Ocean Drive on a Friday. That's the News Cafe over there, where Gianni Versace used to hang out. That's closed. Famous Wet Willie's, all boarded up. Starlight Hotel, plywooded up, and sandbags on the ground. Sandbags, of course, were in high demand over the past few days because of the projected storm surge of 5 to 10 feet. If, in fact, we do get 10 feet down here, you see all of the foliage over there? That's on top of the sand dune, which is a protective barrier for the beach. If we get 10 feet, there is undoubtedly going to be ocean water streaming at least through the pathways and flooding all that you see behind me. The governor's warning everybody to get out. Cruise ships are out as of today. The Port of Miami is going to be closing down. We still found a few people putting up plywood earlier today, and we actually met a couple of people who absolutely refused to leave.
Hunkering down for the hurricane.
Well, I have like an apartment on the second floor. This is like a 1980s building in solid cement, and I'm boarded up, and I never thought for a minute about leaving.
So you think you're going to be safe. What about the water?
Oh, it's okay because we're on the second floor. So, I mean, unless it's like 20 feet rolling in the street, which, come on.
Out of Miami International Airport last night and this morning, massive crowds, people trying to get their flights and get out of town before the worst of the worst comes to town, which is projected to happen Saturday and Sunday. The last flight out of Miami International in less than 3 hours, 3 p.m. last flight. Otherwise, your only option is driving. There's been a massive issue with shortages of fuel and gasoline for cars, but the mass exodus out of here really began a few days ago. And at Miami Beach, which typically has a whole lot of residents who ignore the warnings and just think they can deal, well, clearly today we have seen this place is really nearly a ghost town. Sandra?
Phil, I think we're sitting here all fearing for that couple with whom you just spoke, and we just heard them say because they're on the second floor, they're going to stay. Did they provide any, could they not get out? Are they thinking, you wonder what's in the mind of somebody who says, I'm going to stick around.
Typically, it is the same thing. I think I can make it. I think I'll be okay. My building seems like a brick house, or it has hurricane impact windows, or the building's got a generator. I've talked to several people who live in these high rises, and keep in mind, there are 650,000 people in Miami-Dade County alone under a mandatory evacuation order, and the police down here tell me the rule of thumb for first responders is this: as soon as the winds hit 40 miles per hour, they go into shelter mode. So no cops, no firefighters, no paramedics until after the winds get high and then come back down. And keep in mind, when the winds are high, let's say 150-mile-an-hour winds hits Miami Beach, all of the debris that's out on the field will fly at 2/3 the rate of speed. So that's coming in here at 100 miles an hour. That's why it's so critical that people board it up, plywooded up, put their shutters on their houses, and a lot of people certainly have, because everyone knows for days on end that it is coming, but you certainly can get the sensation that today, this Friday, the day before, people know the clock is ticking.
Phil, are you going to be safe, Phil? Where are you going?
I don't know yet. Still hoping to get a room.
Phil, thank you. Phil Keating.
We may ride it out at my house. I don't know.
All right. Well, the governor making it very clear, because this is a mandatory evacuation. If you stay there, we cannot save you once the hurricane makes landfall. Phil Keating, thank you.